Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the FUT birthday HAMZA CHOUDHURY card. We're going to go through the card's details, stats, clips and summary. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be doing this card. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So guys, this is the team that I use HAMZA CHOUDHURY in. I played him in that 4-2-1 in that DM spot, of course, to suit his playstyle. And overall, guys, my first impressions of this card is very average, I think. I don't think he's particularly special. I think he's okay for a free card as well, so I can't really complain too much about what he is, but I think this card is just an okay CDM. Let's just get into the card though. HAMZA CHOUDHURY, 5'10", medium height work, is right-footed, 3-star swings and 5-star weak foot, 5 games played, 1 goal scored and no assists. Now guys, the one thing I do want to mention off the bat immediately is those work rates, medium high work rates. Now it didn't feel like that, guys. He was running forward a lot, and I did even put instructions on him to stay back further and to cover passing lanes and conservative interceptions as well, so there was no charging forwards. He still went forward a lot, guys. It was kind of similar to Lucas Leiva in terms of how he just went forward and didn't really have a care in the world forward defending. But other than that, guys, I feel like this is all pretty decent. Not great for you skillers out there. One more skill move would have been nice. In terms of chemistry style, guys, I really don't know which is the best way to go with this card, and I think it may well be the engine. I tried the anchor on him, I tried the guardian on him as well, but I think the engine is the way to go with this card. In terms of attribute details, guys, the key pros of this card: his passing range is decent. I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it's decent. I think his physicality is pretty good as well. His aggression is great in the midfield, does get stuck in well, and his tackling stats are decent as well, so that's all nice to have in there too. The cons of this card: lack of pace, lack of agility and reactions as well, and then in general a lack of vision as well, which I think sort of hampers his passing in terms of what he's able to do, because he can't always pick out the passes you want him to be able to do. However, guys, I would say that this, considering again this is a free card, you can't complain too much about all of that. Getting into player traits, he's only got the dives into tackles trait, so having covered all that, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting to some of HAMZA CHOUDHURY's clips, and what you guys are going to see is his general ability to play deep in that midfield. Now guys, the one thing I do want to pick out first of all is that there aren't that many clips of HAMZA CHOUDHURY. I did feel like he went a little bit anonymous in this game. Maybe that's because Paulinho was next to him and Paulinho did more of the defensive dirty work. But I feel like CHOUDHURY was a bit anonymous in these games at times. Now, that's not to say he's a bad card. He did play well when I asked him to, when I needed him to get involved. However, guys, I would say that from a midfielder who's playing in that base of midfield, I need that player to be more involved, more energetic, and more capable as well. Now, guys, the first thing I want to get into is his pace. His pace is a little bit lacking. You do need to help that out, otherwise you will struggle with this card. And that's the same goes for his dribbling, guys. Now, his dribbling is okay. It's not particularly amazing. You do need to focus on that as well if you want him to play maybe slightly further forward or a more box-to-box role. However, guys, what I will say is that I think you need to focus your energy on this card on the defending stats. Now, although the defending and physical stats are decent, to be able to compete at this stage of the game with those higher rank players, you need to be able to defend really well. This CHOUDHURY card can pass okay. His short and long pass are actually very good stats, but I feel like his long pass is a bit over exaggerated in terms of what he's able to do. He's okay at it, but he did misplace a lot of them for me. His short passing is absolutely fine, guys. In terms of his dribbling though, his agility is what really holds him back, and all of those other stats as well, his reactions too, which means that you don't really have as dynamic a midfielder as say someone like Akante. I think that he could do a lot better if you do give him that dribbling boost. The final thing I want to get into, guys, with this card is just his physicality, which we did touch on earlier, is very good, and I think this is actually the key standout stat of this card. He's got very good aggression, so as you guys can see, he fights a lot for the ball, he gets in the way when you do call upon him, and that's nice in a midfielder to have that energy in there. It's just that he does feel like he gets passed by a lot in the game. That may be because I'm in the higher divisions, but guys, I do feel like that my midfielders need to be able to take control of the game, and he just wasn't able to do that fully. He was able to do it in portions, but not fully. As we get into these final couple of clips, you're just going to see more of the same, guys. Him intercepting the ball, bringing it forward, starting attacks there. I also had to be quite patient with this card, and in this one, the only goal he scored, a smash from the edge of the box. So guys, getting to this final HAMZA CHOUDHURY summary, of course it doesn't cost you anything on any of the consoles or the PC, just your time to grind him out. In terms of the key stats, guys, I think his passing range is okay. I think his defending stats are okay on some of them and poor on others, and his physical stats are pretty good as well. So overall, guys, I think this is a decently balanced card. I don't think it's a world beater of a card, of course, being a free card as well, but it's a decent card nonetheless. If I was to recommend a chemistry style on him, I think the shadow does fit pretty well, just in terms of what you want to do with the card, in terms of boosting his defending and his pace stats. You can go a number of ways with it. Of course, you could of course go with an anchor and help out his physicality, because his heading accuracy isn't going to get any better. That would give him a reasonable amount of pace, good physicality, and good defending as well. But those would be one of the two that I would recommend, either anchor or shadow. I wouldn't choose any of the other ones for this card. In terms of similar players, guys, I thought he would be similar to Kante in many ways. He is not. He moves a little slower. He's less agile around the pitch. I don't really know who else this card plays. I don't think this Lerma is actually a bad shout in terms of how he plays. I think he plays better than this Lerma, of course, as well, but very similar in terms of playstyle. Not like Tonali in any way. I think Tonali's passing range is incredible, and Kimmich as well, a lot more dynamic in that midfield. So maybe something similar to that Lerma in terms of playstyle. In terms of linkability, guys, you've not got any perfect. You've got perfect links, sorry, to Jamie Vardy, Harvey Barnes, James Maddison in there as well. So it's nice to have that as well to be able to build into your team. Strong links to other English players in the Premier League as well as English icons. You've got loads of options there as well, and then of course weak links to all the other Premier League players that are there. Of course, we're not going to do a price comparison, guys, but if you ask me, we'll add this section in today, which is if you ask me to compare him to someone, say, like Kante, I would say Kante is a little more dynamic than this card. I wouldn't be picking this card over Kante. However, he does make a good alternative in midfield that you can use. He is able to play in there, and he does, of course, get some very nice linkability options, especially to those Vardy, Maddison, and Harvey Barnes cards. So it's always a nice option to have, in which case that leads me to my final opinion of this card. Is a decent one. I think if he does fit into your team, especially with Vardy, Barnes, or Maddison, then you should do him. If you were to ask me to whether you to prioritize this card over icon swaps, of course I'm always going to say icon swaps. However, guys, I don't think this is a bad card. It just wasn't really to my liking. I do think that there have been better free cards out than this one. The Classic Huntelaar was a better card for me than this one. But overall, guys, still a decent card to get, especially for free. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. And until next time, I will see you all in a bit.